once again to this online session. Today we'll be doing the revision, second revision of this chapter, force and laws of motion. You know that in the first revision part of this lesson, we have covered up Newton's first law of motion, and we have ended with the mathematical derivation for Newton's second law of motion. In today's session, I'll be discussing few examples pertaining to your Newton's second law of motion, and we'll be covering up Newton's third law of motion and law of conservation of momentum. Derivation also we'll be seeing in detail. Okay, what does your second law states? Your second law states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force. See, examples. This you must have witnessed many times whenever you watch a cricket match. You must have seen the fielder while trying to catch the ball that is approaching towards him. The fielder must be moving his hands in the backward direction, means he'll be taking his hands backwards gradually, because when he takes the catch by moving his hands backwards, what will happen? He is trying to reduce the momentum of the ball so that the ball does not hurt his fingers. Okay, similarly, you must have seen an high jump athlete always is made to land on a cushion bed, so that when he lands on the cushion bed, his momentum gets reduced, because he keeps rolling on that and it will not cause any injury to the athlete. Okay, then Newton's third law of motion. It states that every action has equal and opposite reaction, right? We had discussed so many examples when we were doing this chapter, like recoiling of gun, bouncing of a rubber ball. When you're rowing a boat also, all these third law of motion play its role. Now, in recoiling of gun, what happens? The action force is on the bullet, whereas the reaction force is on the gun. So when you fire the bullet out from the gun, the bullet going force on the bullet is your action force, and the recoiling of gun is the reaction force. And you see here, the action force is on the bullet and the reaction force is on the gun. So action and reaction force always acts on two different bodies. Okay, remember this. Newton's third law of motion states that every action has equal and opposite reaction, and this action and reaction force acts on two different bodies. Okay, now see, these also can be given as an example for Newton's third law of motion. Whenever a person gets out of a boat, what happens? He must be moving in the forward direction, but the boat will move in the backward direction. Or when you are rowing a boat with the help of an oars, what happens? You apply the force on the water with the help of an oars in the backward direction, whereas the boat will move in the forward direction. So action force and reaction force are acting on two different objects. Bouncing of a rubber ball can also be given as an example for Newton's third law of motion. Even, see, as I said you, action and reaction force acts on two different bodies. Now, in the case of rockets, what happens? How is Newton's third law applied here? See, Newton's third law, as it states that every action has equal and opposite reaction. What happens in a rocket? The burning fuel creates a push on the front of the rocket, pushing it to move in the forward direction. This creates an equal and opposite push on the exhaust gas in the backward direction. Understood? So these can be given as an example for your Newton's third law of motion. Okay, and you remember, as far as your Newton's third law is concerned, these law you should remember. Few examples, as I told you, simple examples you can take. Rowing a boat, a person jumping out of a boat after having his ride in the boat ride in the water or in the lake, bouncing of a rubber ball. These things can be given as a example for Newton's third law of motion. Okay, next we'll talk about law of conservation of momentum. I'll again revise in detail the derivation for this law of conservation of momentum. Okay, let's now start with law of conservation of momentum. You have learned this already. Law of conservation of momentum states that total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. There is a derivation for this. You have to consider two objects A and B, and let's assume the mass of object A to be MA and mass of object B to be MB. Suppose these two objects, let's assume them as balls, ball A and ball B. They are moving along a straight line in the same direction with different velocities. Let's assume the velocity of A to be UA and velocity of B to be UB, right? So they begin to move along a straight line. After moving some time, they are balls, spherical in shape. So what will happen? After some time, they tend to collide with each other. It is shown in the figure C. At this time, object A will exert a force on B. So you have learnt every action has equal and opposite reaction. Same way, this B will also exert a force on A in the opposite direction. So when they collide, after collision, the velocity will change from UA and UB to VA and VB. Okay. Now let's start writing the momentum for both the objects here. So the momentum of the object A before collision is, what is the formula for momentum? Mass into velocity. For object A before collision, mass is ma, we have already assumed it. Before collision, the velocity was UA for object A and UB for object B. And velocities have changed for ball A from UA to VA, and for ball B it has changed from UB to VB, right? So momentum of the object, that is a ball here, before collision is MAUA, and momentum of the object after collision is MAVA. So change in momentum is always final momentum minus initial momentum. So after collision minus before collision. So MAVA minus MAUA. Listen carefully what is shown in this slide, then you can understand. Then suppose if we want to calculate rate of change of momentum in the case of A, what will happen? It will be the same expression, that is change in momentum upon time. So MAVA minus MAUA upon T. Okay. Now when you apply second law of motion, what does it tell you? Force applied is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. So force applied by A on B will be equal to the rate of change of momentum, which is shown in the case of A. What is that? MAVA minus MAUA upon T. Okay. Now taking MA as the common term, when we take MA outside, we will get VA minus UA within the bracket upon time. Okay. Now let's do the same thing for ball B. Okay. So momentum of the object B before collision will be MBUB, and after collision will be MBVB. Change in momentum will be MBVB minus MBUB. Rate of change of momentum will be MBVB minus MBUB upon T. Now for this object B also will apply second law of motion. So when A is exerting a force on B, B will also exert a force on A. So FBA will be MBVB minus MBUB upon T. So taking MB as common, we'll get MB into VB minus UB upon T. Right. Now your third law of motion states that every action has equal and opposite reaction. When object A is exerting a force on B, B will also exert a force on A in the opposite direction. So I will write FAB is equal to minus FBA. So from the previous equation, what was taken for FAB? FAB is equal to change in momentum there. That is your MA into VA minus UA upon T, and for object B, it is MB into VB minus UB upon T. We'll have a minus sign here because look at the equation. According to third law of motion, every action has equal and opposite reaction. Now, we can cancel T on both sides. So, we'll get MAVA minus MAUA is equal to minus MBVB. There is one more minus before that UB. So, minus into minus will give you plus MBUB. Okay. Now, so we got this MAVA minus MAUA is equal to minus MBVB plus MBUB. Now taking the like terms together, all U together and V together, we'll get, we have this minus MAUA here. When we take it to the other side, it becomes plus there. Similarly, that minus MBVB, when it is taken to the other side, becomes plus. So it shows that MAUA plus MBUB, that is total momentum before collision, is equal to MAVA plus MBVB, that is total momentum after collision. So the sum of momenta of the two objects before collision is equal to the sum of momenta after the collision, provided there is no external unbalanced force acting on them. This is a condition for law of conservation of momentum. Total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision, provided there is no external force acting on them. So this is your law of conservation of momentum. So with this, we are coming to an end of this session. So revision for this chapter, force and laws of motion, is over. Next presentation will have questions that you can expect from this chapter from your examination point of view. Along with the answers will be provided. Okay, so take care, learn, understand. Okay, bye.